Yo, what's going on guys? Arekkz here, welcome back to another Anthem video and another news roundup. PAX West was this past weekend, and alongside the new trailer they released and the panel that BioWare did, there's also been a whole load of new information from another Ask Me Almost Anything About Anthem from Mark Dara and a couple of the other BioWare developers. So I figured it'd be a good time for another time attack. If you guys haven't seen one of these before, then this is my format for condensing lots of small bits of information into as short a time frame as possible. If you don't sit there following every tweet that Mark Dara puts out, then this will allow you to catch up. So sit back and enjoy it. Of course, if you do, then a like will be super appreciated, and by all means, if you have any further questions, drop them down below. But let's get started. First up, we already know that crafting will be a thing in-game, and while we haven't seen exactly how it will work in-game, we do know that blueprints will factor in. For anyone worrying they might miss out on blueprints in loot pools or when managing their inventory, rest assured, it seems the way in which we obtain them will be separate to that of the way we obtain conventional loot. For those of you that are lore fans and plan to go out collecting all the information you can to piece together every tiny story detail, there will be a codex that will allow you to read lore extracts. However, unlike the codex in, say, Mass Effect 1, 2 and 3, it won't be voiced in Anthem. A topic that hasn't really been covered too much, but what happens when you die in-game? Are you revived, respawned? Well, if you're playing in a team, you can be revived by your fellow teammates, but there will also be checkpoints so that you can also respawn. Related to that, however, when you are in boss battles, or boss arenas so to speak, they will disable respawn, so you have to rely on your team reviving you if you go down. Important note here, for those of you wondering how that will work for solo players, this question pertains specifically to strongholds, and strongholds are 4-player activities. While the entire story can be played solo, strongholds are listed as 4-player content. An interesting point on gear and gear collections, it seems the notion of gear set bonuses will be a thing in Anthem. Quite what they'll be called, we don't know yet, but the idea that equipping multiple pieces of the same set or collection will yield special bonuses is definitely always fun in a loot grinding game like this. So yes, set bonuses are a thing. If you've ever been worried that you might miss some of that all-important loot, there will be a Freelancer perk that will widen your pickup radius. Remember that it's your Freelancer that levels up, not your Javelin, so you unlock perks in your Freelancer tree, and these will apply to all your Javelins when you go out in the field. We discussed in the last video that some of these perks will also include things like extended flight time, more time underwater, stuff like that. If you saw yesterday's video and the news about the demo and also early access, then here's a bit more clarification. Again, the demo will drop on February the 1st if you pre-order or have Origin or EA access. Meanwhile, early access begins on February 15th. Demo progress will not carry over to the full game. Early access will. However, since EA access isn't on PS4, sadly it appears that PlayStation players won't be able to get early access. They will, however, get demo access if they pre-order. I'm unsure whether that may well change from now until launch, but as it currently stands, that is how it works. For all the budding adventurers out there, be careful, full damage is a thing. While you can fly as your Javelin, if you overheat and you're too high up, well, I'll leave you to work out what happens then. Going back to the topic of loot again, another question about missing important stuff. If your team is split and they're zipping ahead killing things and you worry that you might miss things as you go, they mentioned they're looking into ensuring that you don't miss the good stuff. Again, in the last video I mentioned there'll be some sort of mail system where you can pick up missed loot above a certain rarity. If you saw the Our World My Story trailer, then you might wonder how that'll impact your story missions. If your hub is personal to you, and you say decide to make an enemy of one person, while your friend makes that person their best buddy, will that prevent you doing some content? And the answer is no. The story inside the hub is personal to you, yes, but it won't restrict any content. Story missions are unlocked in another way that is independent of the story you forge in Fort Tarsis. If you're looking for a challenge, then you won't just be fighting aliens and giant beasts, there will also be other enemies that use javelins, and apparently, they are pretty tough. For those of you that want to make yourself as powerful as possible, we know of the Masterclass Loot rarity, some of the best stuff you can get, and there won't be any limit to how many of these you can equip. In other words, no system similar to, say, Destiny, where you can only equip one exotic weapon and one exotic piece of gear. In this, if you have it, you can equip it. If you want to personalise your Javelin a little bit more, sadly there won't be custom jetpack trails when flying at launch, but it is something that they're interested in doing. And then finally, for character creation, keep in mind most of your time will be spent inside a Javelin in third person, and what happens in Fort Tarsis is in first person. So you won't actually see your character that much, but you do have creation options. Male and female, voice choice, and a face selection. Given the limited time that you see them, it sounds like it won't be giving us a ton of sliders to customise our face, but instead a selection of faces to choose from. But that, my friends, is your Time Attack news roundup for today. That's another quick catch up. If you missed yesterday's video, I spoke a little more in depth about some of the PAX information, so I'll link that down below. Thanks very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to check out some more awesome stuff from us here at Arekkz Gaming, then you should definitely try to catch TwoSixNine and Paradise Central streaming 6 days a week. You can find a link to the multi-stream in the description box down below. They play a wide range of games, and what's more, we also have the Endgame store. By watching their streams, you earn currency, and you can redeem that currency on the Endgame store for really cool prizes. Those can range from things like games, comics, and figures, all the way up to controllers, capture cards, and even consoles. So definitely drop by and become part of the community. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, then make sure you're subscribed and be sure to click on that little bell icon to turn on notifications so you don't miss our next upload. You can watch more videos by clicking on the options here. But once again, thanks very much for watching, take it easy, catch you next time, peace out.